Most traders face the problem of random trades, no system, no idea which setups are actually working, overtrading and emotional decisions, which then leads them to have inconsistent results. Most traders, as I say, spend all their energy hunting for this perfect strategy, that new indicator, that next setup. Then next, of course, this magic formula, but none of that actually exists. Now, this is where everything starts to come together. It's like your trade performance in one quick snapshot. So now that we've imported our trades and we've gone through and sort of reviewed one of our trades, let's go into the reports tab and see what insights this does for us. What I'm going to be breaking down for you guys today is obviously how to analyze your data, the importance of data in your trading, and it might actually solve a few of the problems about why you feel stuck in your trading. So as I say, I'm very excited for this webinar today because this is actually the stuff that makes the difference in your trading and is actually going to move the needle. Now, today we're going to talk about something completely that most traders overlook, which is their trading data. And the truth is that you don't fail as a trader because you don't know where to click buy or sell. You fail because you don't know what's working and what's not. And you can't improve what you don't measure. So by the end of this session, you'll know exactly how to track, analyze, and improve your trading step by step. And I'll show you how TradeZella makes it so simple and powerful to do. So let's start off by talking about the problem that most traders face, right? Most traders face the problem of random trades, no system, no idea which setups are actually working, overtrading and emotional decisions, which then leads them to have inconsistent results. And if that sounds familiar, the reality is most traders don't blow up because they're stupid or because they pick their own strategy. They blow up because they don't know their trading or basically themselves, right? They jump into random trades, no real system. They take steps that they think are good, but they never actually have the proof to back it up. And then the trade doesn't work and they just kind of shrug it off, move on and repeat the same cycle the next day. So think about it. You don't know which setups are making you money. You don't know which ones are obviously bleeding your account dry. And you don't even know if you're trading better in the morning, afternoon, or on certain instruments. You also don't know what emotions affect your trading and you don't know what your triggers are. So instead of clarity in your trading, you've got absolute chaos, right? And that chaos is then what leads you to your emotional decisions, your revenge trading, your overtrading, you're doubling down when you shouldn't. It's like trying to drive across a country, right? Without a map, no GPS, no fuel gauge, nothing. You might get somewhere, but your chances are you're going to run out of like gas or petrol, wherever you're from, in the middle of nowhere. So that's why inconsistency never improves. If you can't measure what's really happening, you can't fix it. You'll stay stuck in the same place, blown accounts from one strategy to the next, and wonder why nothing ever changes for you. It's not the market holding you back. It's the fact that you don't have that feedback loop that every professional trader relies on. That's why many traders stay stuck at the same level for months or even years in that boom and bust cycle, right? When I say like professional traders rely on this, I know so many like professional traders now, and all of them put emphasis on journaling and data collection. And they don't do it just because it sounds funny. They do it because that is what actually matters. So no data, all right? No data means no real feedback, which means you repeat the same mistakes, can't grow or scale effectively. Emotional trading dominates your decisions. So what is the actual power of tracking, right? The power of tracking is you track, you analyze, then you adjust, and then you grow. And tracking and actually collecting what we call good data and reviewing it is going to allow you to know exactly what's working, identify and eliminate mistakes in your trading, and build true confidence in your system, which then in turn is going to be it will be the thing that allows you to scale in the future. And this is where the real edge comes in, right? Because most traders, as I say, spend all their energy hunting for this perfect strategy, that new indicator, that next setup. Then next, of course, this magic formula, but none of that actually exists, right? It doesn't matter if you don't track it, you don't know how you're going to execute it. And once you start tracking your trades, everything will start to change. You'll see patterns you've never even noticed in the moment. You'll see exactly which steps are paying you, which ones are obviously destroying your account. You'll see your average loss is twice as big as your average win. You'll see consistently cutting winners short, or if your hold times are too long. You'll see whether certain times of day, instruments, conditions are making you money or they're costing you money. This is the feedback loop that separates amateurs from professionals. Professionals don't guess, they literally measure. And when you measure, two powerful things happen. You eliminate mistakes. You stop repeating those same errors because you can actually see them on paper, and that stops holding you back. And the other big one is you start to build confidence, right? Confidence doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from knowing your data and what your edge is in real time. So once you have that confidence, scaling then becomes natural. You're not gambling anymore. You're executing a proven process with discipline. And that's what I say. Tracking is the bridge between a inconsistent trader and becoming a consistently profitable one. So if you're in that break even or maybe even losing stage, or you're in that constant boom and bust cycle where you have a big win, then you take a big loss, then you have a big win, and you've been stuck in that for a while, this is what you need to be doing. So now that we actually understand why tracking matters, I want to dive deeper and show you what specific data points you should track and how you can actually break them down to improve. So whilst I'm doing that, I'll also give you a full sort of guide through TradeZella, and I'll show you how it makes all of that so easy for you. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump on to TradeZella. And as you can kind of see here, this is the TradeZella dashboard for those of you that aren't familiar. Now, this is where everything starts to come together. It's like your trade performance in one quick snapshot. At the top, you can see you've got your core basic stats. You can see your net P&L, win rate, profit factor, average win to loss. And this is obviously great for keeping tabs, but the real value comes from the patterns beneath the surface level we see here. So here, for example, we've got our Zella score. Zella score is like a snapshot of your consistency. It's a real easy way to see what you need to improve on. So for example, you can see here it's built up of these 6 key different factors. And Zella score actually knows, say, for example, if you go into a trade of heavy drawdown, and let's say your average loss is $500, and you go into a trade of $2,000 and then end up making $4,000, your Zella score actually knows that you're basically trading how you shouldn't and you're not following your risk rules, and it will reflect that in your score. If you can get a score above 70, that kind of indicates you're profitable, right? So it makes it a really easy visual way to track your progress in your trading. Then, of course, we've got things like your drawdown widget. So you can see the drawdowns that you're going in, so how much your emotions are costing you, all these types of things. Your progress tracker, which we'll deal into in a little bit. And then obviously the calendar view here. This just gives you a quick summary of all of your trading performance going back for whichever months that you like. And you can just go through, flick through, and you can see all of your P&L for all these months, right? So why do we even care about all of this in the first place, right? It's because most traders only focus on outcomes, but consistent profitability comes from understanding your process and improving it step by step. The goal isn't to memorize these metrics, it's to spot patterns, understand the behavior, and make better trading decisions forward. So what I'm first of all going to do is I'm going to show you guys how easy, right, it is to actually connect your trading account to TradeZella and how simple it is to gain all of these instant insights. Whatever it may be, you can instantly broker sync your account to TradeZella. And what do I mean by that? It's as simple as if I come to the homepage here and I press add trade, add new account, and you can see here it says popular brokers, or you can just search here, whichever your broker is, and you just press MetaTrader 5. I can press auto sync, continue. And all I have to do is put my MetaTrader 5 login and password here and the server. So whatever broker you're using, you just put the server in there, put the login, put the password, and press connect. And it's as simple as once you do that, all of your past trading data will all automatically be imported into TradeZella, right? And then you'll have access to all these insights that I'm about to show you. So it is literally that simple. Go to add trade, go to broker sync, select MT5, type your login, done. All of your trading data for all of the trades you've ever taken will automatically be imported. You'll have a Zella score. You'll be able to see all of these stats, and you'll be able to see all of this and more, like crazy, crazy insights I'm about to show you guys. You're in for a treat very, very shortly. And all you had to do was take 1 minute of your day to log in. That's it. Okay. Now I'm going to walk you through kind of like the process here in the sense of, what you would do after you've imported your trades. So you go to add trade, you import your trades, then you go to trades, right? So let's go to the trades tab here and let's go into one of my trades, right? So I've just imported all my trades. These are all my trades it's imported for me. Let's go ahead and click into one of my trades here. So here, this is one of my trades, right? So I personally trade futures, used to trade Forex, like MT5, kind of that stuff in the past. But this is one of my trades here, right? And you can see that this is like a chart, same as like TradingView for those of you that use TradingView. And you can see that it's automatically plotted my entry and exit on the chart with these arrows. So I can see exactly on the chart when I've come to review my trade, exactly where my entry and exit was. And you can customize this to be however you want. So let's say, for example, you have red and black candles, when you use TradingView, go ahead and set that up. Whatever you like, you can add your indicators, all that kind of stuff. It will all be here. Okay. And you can see that you've got all these stats for your trade on the left. So I can see Zeller scale, basically show you the maximum loss that my trade had versus the maximum profit. It will show you the lowest point my trade went to versus the highest point trade went to. It's analyzed my R multiple, right? So you can see here that my trade risk was 2,295 and my target was 1,204.65. If you're using MT5, it will automatically import your stop loss and profit target, right? So it's automatically going to be able to give you all those insights on your R multiple and all that kind of good stuff. And you can go and sit ahead and see like your running P&L. So if I just press running P&L at the top here, right, you can see that this shows me all of my running P&L here, and I can actually see like the exact time in the trade and what my P&L was that at that time in the trade. So for example, maybe I went into heavy drawdown first before my trade ended up coming back against me. Then I can look and say, okay, that was at 10 past 6. So what was actually happening at 10 past 6 here? And like, how could I improve this, right? Then when it comes to the journaling, we've made that easy for you as well. So if you're unsure where to start with journaling, you can just go ahead and press add template, right? And we can go ahead and import any one of these. So let's say we wanted to do like I don't know, let's do a trade recap, right? I press trade recap and then I've got this template and it kind of just says what things I should be writing about. But this one is interesting as well. Let's say you have no idea where to start with in journaling and you're kind of like, I don't really know. If I press write with AI and I do trade recap, and we just give this a second here, what this will do is base off all the information that it has about my trade, and it will slowly but gradually learn more about you as you go. It will recap this trade for me, and it will kind of give me a basic outline to follow and things that I should basically, pay attention to. So it gave this trade a 4.5 out of 5. It just put down some key sort of lessons for me. So for example, future trades could benefit from refining entry and exit strategies and all this kind of stuff, right? This is just a basic outline that you can go ahead and improve on. And the more and more you use this kind of thing, the more and more it's going to adjust for you and tell you things that you can work on. Now, something else that I really want to show you guys is this on the left. Now, in my opinion, this is one of the most powerful things in TradeZella. So you can see here on the left, it says tags, right? In the tags, you can come up and you can set this up to be whatever you want. So let's say, for example, you wanted to track how listening to music affects your trading, right? Even something as simple as that, okay? So for example, I've tracked on this trade my entry time frame used because I think that's important to track, right? Or I've tracked on what I've entered off. So in this case, let's say if you guys trade support and resistance, I could be like 2-hour support, right? And I could just put 2-hour support and I can go ahead and track all of that. I'm going to show you how crazy this feature actually is in a second when we go to the reports page. But let's say mental state. I was anxious about the size that I put on for the trade, right? So I can actually track my emotions. Any mistakes that I made, I didn't cut my losses quickly enough, right? Or news on this day. Maybe I want to track my performance on how I perform on CPI or PPI or a no news day. Or confidence level. Was my confidence in this trade high, medium, and low? Even sleep, right? I can even go ahead and track the specific hours of sleep that I had versus the performance that I had in my trading. So I could actually start tracking, 7 hours of sleep, my performance on my trading is this good. But I just have it quite dumbed down to an extent where I just have good, medium, and poor sleep. Okay. But you can go that in depth. Okay. So that's tags. And as I say, you can easily set up anything you want. I just come down here and press new category, distractions at work, for example. All right. And that's now set up. It's that simple. I just put listening, neighbor, person next to me listening to music, right? You could go that dumb if you wanted to and track that, right? I even track things personally, such as like if I go for a run on the day or do I do my pre-market the night before. So on this day, I did actually go for a run before I went trading. And that's a habit of mine I like to do just because it wakes me up and I find that I trade better that way. So now that we've gone through this and we've seen how you would actually journal the trade. So for example, trade recap basic, you'd write throughout your journal, that kind of thing. You'd analyze your trade and see what actually went on here. You flick through all the time frames, pull up another chart next to it if you want to, right? And just kind of like analyze and be like, okay, so this, and this, and you can add as many charts there if you like, right? Then you would go ahead and add your playbook. So what is a playbook? So whatever your trading strategy is, you would break it down into a set of systematic rules. So for example, this one I've got supply, demand, and liquidity. These are all my rules for this playbook. So entry criteria, exit criteria, all this kind of stuff. And I would come through and I would actually just look at my trade and be like, okay, did I follow this rule? Was there a higher time frame key area of supply? Okay, there was. Cool. I'll go ahead and tick that off, that kind of stuff, right? Basically, just allows you to see and track if you're actually following your rules. So whether your emotions are standing in your way or if it's your strategy that's the problem and needs adjusting, then you can go ahead and add attachments here. So let's say if I want to add screenshots, videos, or like say if I record my trading session with a video and then I want to add it here, then I can go ahead and do that as well. So now that we've imported our trades and we've gone through and sort of reviewed one of our trades, let's go into the reports tab and see what insights this does for us. Okay. So if I go straight here, just basically on the reports tab, you can see that it's got the performance, which is just an overview of all of my trading in general. So I can see my net P&L, my win percent, my average daily win, profit factor, average daily win/loss, risk reward, planned R multiple, realized R multiple, all this kind of stuff. Okay. And I can add charts here so I can compare, say, for example, in this one. So I've got net P&L, and I can also compare that with my average hold time. And it will plot these on Access Networks to each other, whatever you want to do, right? And you can export all of this data. So if you want to go and print it off, analyze it, all of that, you can as well. Overview tab, this is kind of a summary of all of your stats, right? So here you can see like your average hold time, the max amount of trades that you have in a row. So say, for example, if you come here and you see, okay, I have 9 trades in a row as my loss, you now know that is your maximum amount of losses you take in a row. So maybe next time when you're doing a challenge, you could be like, okay, I shouldn't adjust my risk to more than 9 trades in a row to blow this account, because that would be my worst losing streak I've ever been on, if that makes sense. Right? You can see average planned down multiple, max drawdown in dollars and percentage that you suffer with, all this kind of good stuff, right? And bear in mind, you didn't have to log any of this. You didn't have to put all of this in. All you did was connect your account, which took you 1 minute, and now you see all of this, right? Very, very simple to do. Now, let's break into some even better features. Date and time reports, for example, right? What's my best performing day? Wednesday. What's my least performing day? Monday. What's my most active trading day? Wednesday. And what's my best day that I have, like I win the most trades on? Tuesday. See all of this summarized at the top. And I didn't have to journal or do anything for this. I just connected my account via BrokerSync, right? And I can see the exact win percentages. So on Monday, I have a 49.32%. I've taken 74 trades in my career. My average win is $1,583, and my average loss is $684, right? And I can come here and I can even compare. So like say for a Monday, when I trade gold, I have a really good performance, but compared to a Thursday or a Friday, sorry, when I trade gold, I don't have that good performance. And I can change this as well. So I can even go so deep, I could compare the day of the week in versus every 15 minutes of trading and see my performance. So I could be like, okay, so on, let's do this Wednesday at 12:30, I tend to lose 1.5K, but at 12:15 and 12:45, I win quite a lot. Let's look at like market open, for example, which for me is like UK time 2:30. So on Monday, Tuesday at market open, I'm profitable, but Wednesday and Friday, I'm not profitable. Okay, maybe I should go look into those trades and see like what I'm actually doing wrong on those trades and then review my data that way. And already that gives me like such good insights because I can see exactly where my problem is in my trading. I can be like, okay, my problem is here. Now I need to go look into that problem and see what I need to do about it. So then I can literally just click, for example, if I just click this and I can now see, it will take me to all the trades on a Friday at that time that I've lost. And I can just go and click into them and analyze them and be like, okay, so this is that trade that I took on that day. Let me go back over the chart now and see what did I do wrong here, If I just come back to reports again, and we go back to date and time, all that kind of stuff. And you can do, so it's filtered to just those trades right now. Let me just take that off, right? And you can go into the best trading month. So once you have this data for a year or 2 years even, or 3 years, right? You can see, okay, July is my best trading month of the year. December's my worst trading month of the year. April is when I take the most trades, and June is my best win rate of the month. And you can see all these stats for all these different months, same as you could for the days of the week. Trade time, for example, right? I can come in and I can see, all right, these are my best trade times. This is my P&L for this time. So I can see at 2 o'clock, I have a 44.55% win rate, right? Versus at 10 a.m., I have an 89.47% win rate. Okay, maybe I should just cut out these times where I have 25% win rate, 33% win rate, and just double down on 10 a.m. when my win rate is almost 90%. So easy to see what's working and what's not in your trading just from broker syncing your account and being on this platform for 5 minutes. Trade duration, all these types of insights, does holding my trade for over 30 minutes, or look at this. So over here, trades that I hold for 30 minutes to an hour, I tend to have a 67% win rate. Trades that I only hold for like 1 to 5 minutes, pretty much always lose, right? Instant insight right there again. Now, what I want to show you is obviously I can go into this all day and I can show you the insights for this on and on and on, right? Best performing symbol, NQ, least performing MES, all my P&Ls, my win rates for all the symbols I've ever traded. GU, 58% win rate, $57,000 profit. Average loss, $358. Average win, 1,331. All I did was broker sync my account. I know all of this, right? Instruments, prices. I can even see like the exact prices that I enter at and my performance based off that. I can see my risk, so like R multiple, right? What my best performing R multiple is, what my best performing volume is. So I could see like when I put 2 lots on, my performance is really good. But when I put 10 lots on, all of a sudden I lose all those trades. I now know that's probably a psychological issue, right? I can see my playbooks. So all of my playbooks that I set up, I can see the exact win rates, trade counts, volumes that I'm trading, average wins and losses on all of this stuff, right? All of my playbooks, I can compare them together. I can look at, say, for example, my supply and demand strategy versus my ICT strategy, and I can see their win rates on each specific symbols and compare. So then I could be like, okay, so my supply and demand strategy works really good on GU, but it doesn't actually work that good on gold. So now I should maybe stop doing that, right? What else have we got? Oh, tags. As I said, love to show you guys tags. Look at this. Okay. So we started tagging trades, right? So when we went through and we tagged our trades, right? Now, all of these things that I tagged are all here. Okay. So for example, entry time frame used. I can see that my best performing time frame that I enter on is the 3-minute time frame. And you see that my worst performing time frame is the 1-minute time frame. So I can see that I took 23 trades on the 3-minute, made $51,000. And on the 1-minute, I took 93 trades and lost $22,000. On the 1-minute, my win percent is 19.57%. But on the 3-minute, my win percent is 56.52%. How useful is that? I just know straight away to stop trading the 1-minute because it simply just doesn't work for me, right? It is literally that simple. Then I can double down on the 3-minute and the 5-minute because that's what's working well for me in my trading. Or entry off, right? So I am personally trading like supply and demand zones, all that kind of stuff. But whatever you guys are trading, you can come and set it up. So for example, I can see a 15-minute demand area has a 45.45% win rate compared to a 15-30-minute zone that crossover only has a 33% win rate. Or I can even see like my mental state, how that affects my trading, my pre-market routine. Okay. If I come into my pre-market routine, I can see that when I go for a run before I trade, I have an 86.67% win rate. When I analyze on the day versus doing my pre-market night before, I only have a 30% win rate. All these little things that you can start to track. The sleep. When I sleep good, I have a 72.22% win rate, right? When I don't sleep well, I only have a 14.29% win rate. Okay. Now I'm thinking, I've seen this. All right. When I don't sleep very well, I'm just not going to bother trading because it ends up costing me more money than it makes me over time, right? Your confidence level, your news on that you were looking at on this day, CPI, PPI, new news, no news day, post trade reflection, right? Did you review your trades? Were you distracted at work, right? The same tag that we set up, this person next to me listening to music. Do you remember we set that up? Now you can see it here. Start adding trades to this and you'll get more and more insights and more data. Okay. How incredible is that? And all it took was like 2, 5 minutes, 10 minutes of prep to set up, right? Options, if you guys trade options, it gives you all those insights, but I personally don't, so I don't have those insights. You can compare. So let's say, for example, I wanted to see my performance on NQ versus NQ, but I want to see how the 1 minute versus the 3 minute performs. Okay, generate report. And then it will actually generate me. So I haven't got much data on these two, but it will generate me a detailed report of how I perform on NQ on the 1 minute versus the 3 minute. I can come down and I can break this down. All right. So I can do this for pretty much anything. So you can track your long versus short, your start date and start time, all this kind of stuff. And you can filter all of this data very easily. So if I wanted to see like my performance on days, but I only want to see this month, for example, I could just press this month, and now it's only showing me the data for this month. All right. So very easy to filter. You can also have infinite amount of accounts, right? So there's no limit on this. So you can have up to, I don't know, 50 accounts if you wanted, right? And you can come through and you can select, all right, I want to see my performance on my challenge accounts versus my live account. Any of that, you can come through and just like click all the ones that you're interested in seeing and go through it that way. Or you just press all accounts and then you see all of your data. So if you want to separate a challenge from a funded, right, you can come through and do it that way. Then obviously, as I say, if I dive into playbooks, you can come through and you can actually see, right, all of like your data here on all your different playbooks. So I can come here and go into my supply demand liquidity playbook. I can see my equity curve. I can see my next trade expectancy, which is, what TradeZella expects your next trade win to be, your average hold time, all this type of stuff. And I can actually see the rules for my playbook and how often I'm following my rules. Now, for this playbook specifically, I'm not ticking off my playbook correctly. So shame on me, which is why they're so low. But what you should be doing is following them off correctly and ticking them off correctly so you can actually see how often you're following your plan. All right. Trades, backtesting, all this type of stuff. Backtesting is like fully included in the platform. Then we've got the progress tracker. So the progress tracker is essentially a feature that allows you to track your habits versus your actual P&L. So for example, this calendar will go blue if you're actually doing everything you should, and you can see your follow rates. So for example, it's going to track whether you actually start your day by your set time. It's going to track whether you're actually following your max and loss per trade. So mine set to 5,000, or you can set that to 1%. It's going to track whether you're following your max loss for the day, right? And then you can set up all these custom rules. So mine is 1 win for the day equals done. 2 losses for the day equals done. Read 10 pages of a book, 7,000 steps and go to the gym. And I can set them to be like, okay, these are only active things I have to do on these days, right? And then I can actually start to track not just my trading habits, but also my habits outside of trading and get insights on that data as well, all right? So again, really, really useful feature to make the most of. And let's say, for example, all right, let's go even deeper. This one trade here, if I really want to break it down and replay this trade and see what happened in live time, and then kind of watch the price action, watch the time of sales, watch the order book, and just kind of replay this whole trade, I can play this out as if it was live, and I can practice almost retrading this entire environment. Okay. So I can swap the time frames here and see the candles printing. I can see all of the orders actually coming into the market, and I can add tags as that goes, right? So if I notice, oh, okay, I actually fucked up there, I'll add a tag for that and I can start getting insights on that. It's a really cool feature there as well. And then not to mention as well, like included in all of this, you get like mentor mode. So there's a couple of people in my mentor mode here. So if you have a mentor, you can invite them and you can just press invite. So if I go into student mode, I just press invite mentor. If they've got TradeZella, I can see basically select which accounts I want them to see. And then they can actually view my data, view my trade, and tell me where I need to work on improve. And obviously you can grant full access or view only access. So whichever you want to do. All right. Then there's TradeZella University, full education here, like from everything you'd ever need to trading models, to how to use the platform, to how to manage your risk, how to journal, psychological webinars, all this type of stuff, right? All from verified successful traders. So all of this is here as well. So yeah, really useful in that as well. Then not to forget backtesting. Backtesting has its own area altogether. So you have a backtesting dashboard here, and I can see like all my backtested trades, my P&L for my backtesting trades, all of my stats for my backtesting trades, and I can filter to each individual session that I've done in backtesting, right? So I can be like, okay, I want to really look into the insights of this backtesting session. I can go ahead and do that. Here are all my sessions, all that kind of stuff. You can go through reports, like playbooks, everything like you could on all the other pages with specifically just your backtesting sessions. And just to give you a little wonder around like what a backtesting session looks like, I'll just jump into one really quick. So again, like this is one of the ones I was doing. You can set it up to be exactly like TradingView. You can even play this out as if it was a live market. So if I press 1 second and then press play, it will actually tick like it was a live market. All right. So I'll just press play on the 1 minute and we'll just like have a look at this chart and be like, okay, right, cool. Like analyze your trades. It will automatically like calculate your risk. So if I go here and I want to go long, right, I just come over to the order panel, advanced order, 1% risk. It's already put in my stop loss and profit target. I just press that. Bang. You can see my stop loss and profit target have already been entered. Oh no, actually, I want to increase my profit target. All right, I just drag and drop it. It's that easy. Okay. And I want to speed this up now. All right, place my trade. Let's see if it hits my TP. I just go ahead and I speed that up. All right. Also, that one hit my stop loss. Okay. Over to the next trade. Or if I want to journal this as well, I just come to the journal. All right. Quick screenshot, press the little snapshot button. And there we go. I've got a little screenshot here as well. And I can also come in like tick off and add tags to all of my back testing trades. So if I want to add like tags and be like, oh, I entered this trade in the 1 minute, 3 minute, I can come in and I can obviously add tags. So I could be like, all right, so whilst I'm back testing, I want to track what my most optimal entry time frame that I use is, and that I would tag this trade that I entered on the 15 minute. And then when I finish my back testing session, I'm going to have all these insights, as well as add all my playbooks. So for this one, I've got an ICT playbook. All right, I'll just go ahead, add that playbook. So that one I've got nothing written on. I'll do this one because I know I've got stuff written on that one. So I just add playbooks. There you go. Now you can see like all the rules for my playbook. So as I'm actually looking at my trade before I get in and before I press play, I can tick off all my rules. I can be like, okay, this one matches, this one matches, this one matches. Okay, yeah, cool. We can take this trade. Let's place that trade, you know? So really, really useful stuff there. You can go to just skip to the next day, make it really easy and simple for you. Bunch of custom indicators. You can show the news. So if I only want to see the future news events, just press that. If I only want to see the past news events, press that. Yeah, it's essentially TradingView but it's backtesting and it's really, really it's really good. So I personally used it quite a lot. As you can see, like I've got 5 years data backtested. So yeah, but that's pretty much it. That's like your full tour walkthrough. And obviously you can now see like how important tracking your data actually can be for you. Like all you had to do, as I say, was broker sync your account. Then you got all of these insights instantly. And now you can break it down. You can be like, okay, so on a Monday at 2 o'clock, I lose 100% of my trades. Cut out your trading, right? A lot of trading isn't about how much you win. A lot of trading actually ends up being about how much you can eliminate losses from your trading. And that is what this is going to allow you to do. It's going to allow you to significantly increase your win rate, significantly increase your R multiple, right? And then in turn, you'll have better trading results. You'll be less emotional about your trading. Because if you know, like my trading playbook performs at this time and it has an 80% win rate because I back tested that and my data says that, all of a sudden, how much confidence do you have in your next trading setup? How much confidence do you have in yourself when it comes to trading? Because you know that you have years of data to back you up, right? That's what it really comes down to, guys. Data, I promise you, collecting good data and tracking data is the keys to trading success. If you start this now, 1 year from now, can you imagine the insights you'll have in not just yourself, but your trading, right? You'll know your own personal habits. You'll know your own mental triggers. You'll know what's actually costing you money. You'll know what is the best time frame to use for your strategy. You'll know what is the best area of supply and demand or support and resistance. You'll know like the exact combination. Oh, when a moving average crosses with a support area, my win rate of when that happens together is 70%. When I only use the support area, it's 40%. Can you imagine if you had that data going back years? The sooner you start, the better that you're going to help yourself in the future. All right. So that's pretty much it for the breakdown today, guys. I hope you enjoyed.